Here's where we left off yesterday. Again, we had all the charts that I had you guys write down. If you need them, they're all on page like 530 through like 535. So anyway, we're going to go on to the next conversion portion. We're going from miles squared to acres. And instead of me having to bounce back up and forth, I'm going to open my book to those charts because I don't have them measured or memorized either. All right, so for this one, we've got miles squared to acres. Just kidding. Starting the exact same way, we're going to do that 2490 miles squared. And then my goal is to make it all the way to acres. Okay, I kind of put a little acres up here. Are we able to go to miles from miles to acres in one step?
Yeah.
Pretty sure we are. Yeah. So miles squared to acres, what is that number? So I've got acres up here. To miles squared. I've got 640. Acres is 1 square mile. These labels are going to cancel out. And I get to multiply straight across. So 2490 times 640 gives a giant number. But we got 1593600 acres. Okay, the next one, we've got acres to square yards. That one we cannot do in one step. So looking at those charts, if you have them, so 1.32 acres, and I want to get to square yards. Looking at those charts you guys have, what are some ways that we can get to square yards from acres? So these ones aren't in that chart. It's on page 530. So yeah, we can go to feet squared and then yard squared. The other option we could do would be go to miles squared and then change miles down to feet squared. But yes, I like the idea of going from feet squared into yard squared. So I'm going to put my acres on the bottom to feet squared. And then I'm going to have my feet squared up to yard squared. Again, the way I like to do mine is I will put my labels down first, just so that way I know I'm going to get to the correct label at the end. And then I'll plug my numbers back in. So if I've got that acres to feet squared, for that one, 1 acre is 43560. Those labels cancel out. And then feet to yards, 1 square yard is 9 square feet. Those labels cancel each other out. And now it just turns into us multiplying straight across the top and then straight across the bottom. So 1.32 times 43560. My top number, let me zoom out just a smidge, is 57499.2. All of that's going to be over 9. Because I need to just figure it out just for yard squared. So I do need that bottom number to be a 1. Once I divide both of those together, I'm left off with 6388.8 yards squared. No?
Where'd you get the feet number?
Okay, so I used the kind of chart in the book, page 530. Okay, the one that's right over. It should be on your left-hand side. Right here. Up here. Okay, so I went from the acres that chart, I went from acres to feet, because there's nothing that goes straight from acres to yards. So we went from how many acres are in, so 1 acre is 43,560 square feet. So we made that very first conversion. And then we also had to convert from square feet to square yards. And 1 square yard, there's 9 square feet. So that's where all these ones came from. And then as soon as we can put together that train track or that chart, we multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. That's where these two numbers came from. And then we took this number divided by the bottom number to get our very final answer of the 6388. Okay? All right, I want you to try this next one. Square kilometers to square miles. Sorry, it should be 4.1 square kilometers to square miles. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just make this?
What? Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I was like, thank you.
Yep. If you're still struggling how to set it up, I'm setting it up here. All right, so as you work through it, hopefully you saw that it's kind of a one-stepper. You had 4.1 kilometers over here. Remember, your labels have to be opposite in order for them to cancel out. So you can go from kilometers squared to miles squared. Yeah, 1 mile squared equals 2.59 square kilometers. These labels cancel each other out. Multiply straight across, you get 4.1 divided by 2.59. And you get 4.1 kilometers is 1.58 square miles. So far, so good?
So you just multiply across.
Yep, I multiplied straight across, so 4.1 times 1, and then 2.59 times 1. So all the stuff that was on the top divided by all the stuff that was on the bottom, and that's where I got the. All right, so I've got a couple more story problem ones that are going to kind of go along with, excuse me, some of these ones. So this is kind of where the real world aspect comes from. It says find the cost of carpeting in Jane's basement, which is 520 square feet. The cheaper carpet costs $14.50 per square yard. In order for me to figure out how much I'm going to multiply to figure out the square yardage, I need to convert 520 square feet into square yards. Yep, so I'm going to start off with that 520 square feet. 520 square feet. I can make that conversion from square feet into square yards. 1 square yard is 9 square feet. So those labels cancel out. I'm left with the only label of square yard there. So I've got 520 times 1 is 520 over 9 on the bottom. And I'll just divide those. So I've got 520 over 9. My final answer is going to be 57.8 square yards. Now the last part I'm looking at is it saying the cheaper carpet costs this much per square yard. So to find the total cost, I'm going to figure out my square yardage, and I'm going to multiply it times that 1450 to figure out how much it's going to cost for that many chunks of carpet. So I'm taking that square yardage. I'm taking that square yardage of 57.8 times that $14.50. And I should come out to $837.78. Make sense-ish? Okay. Excuse me. This one's like perfect for Jaden as she was talking about the one yesterday. I want to go with that freshwater fish tank. She's gonna have that fish tank. We were talking about how heavy they were. Also, I couldn't find any good videos of decks collapsing with people. Like there's a lot on TikTok, but I don't have that for a computer, so sorry everybody. It says how many cubic feet of water are in a 100-gallon freshwater fish tank? To figure out the gallon stuff, you're going to go over to the capacity. Where was it? Table 9.7 in your books on page 533. So exact same way that we set it up. I've got that 100 gallons. I want to change it into cubic feet of water. I can do that in one step. Cubic feet and gallon here, so my labels are opposite of each other. In 1 cubic foot, there are 7.48 gallons. Again, make sure you match up your labels together. Those ones cancel out, which tells me it's 100 cubic feet over 7.48. Divide those ones off. 7.48. In my cubic feet, I should have 13.37 cubic feet of water in that fish tank. All right, then for all you people who like the fish, we're gonna try to figure out how heavy that tank actually is. You can either look at it from the terms of how many gallons. You can look at it from terms of how many square feet. Okay. Because we've got the freshwater conversion rate of how many square feet equals 62.5 pounds for freshwater. We're gonna do the exact same thing with those conversions. We've got that 13.37 cubic feet. And for that, we have pounds on top. We've got cubic feet on the bottom. So 1 cubic foot is going to equal 62.5. These labels get to cancel out, and we just multiply straight across. So how heavy is that fish tank? Yes, very.
35.62 pounds.
Perfect. So I've got 835.6. I'll say 0.6 pounds. Yes, it is a lot. A lot of times your bathtubs are going to be around like an 80 gallon. Sometimes you might have some big ones that are around 100 gallons as well. So just know that if you have a bathtub on the upstairs and the house wasn't built very well, you're looking at almost 1,000 pounds, including the tub surround, plus you, plus the water that's all inside there. So, a lot of weight. So hopefully the person that built your house did a good job. Okay, this one, I want you guys to figure this one out. This one's a, again, realistic example. I've got a pallet, one pallet of 1 pint water bottles. Each one of those pallets contains 288 bottles. So that's how many pints we're gonna have. That's how many they have. I wanna know how much does it weigh? We've got a couple steps that you'll go through.
I can't figure it out.
It's close to 3 gallons, which is close. I still give the exact
All right, I'm gonna show you two different ways that you can go about getting this one. First one's gonna give you some rounding errors, which happen. And the other one, you guys will hate me for. So this one, I'm gonna have 1 pint of water. We're trying to figure out how much it weighs in pounds. So I've got 288, I'm gonna say pints. just gonna make a giant line here. So I know I can go from pints to quarts. I can go from quarts to gallons. I know I can go from gallons to cubic feet. I know I can go from cubic feet to pounds. Okay, I just did my labels there just so you can see all the steps that I'm doing. For this one, there are 2 pints in 1 quart. There are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. There are 7.48 gallons in 1 cubic foot. And there are 62.5 pounds in 1 cubic foot. Okay, lots of stuff was going on there. I'm just going to cross off my labels. This one canceled, this one canceled, this one canceled, this one canceled. I'm left with that same number there. So I've got 288 times 62. So I'm left with 18000. All of that is going to be over 2 times 4 times 7.48. So all the stuff on the bottom is going to be 59.84. I've got 18,000 divided by 59.84. And I'm left with 300.8 total pounds. Anybody else notice something different when you're looking at that chart? Look where it says pints and then look directly above that. Yeah, it says that 1 pint equals 16 fluid ounces.
Is that not true?
So that's true. So 16 fluid ounces is 1 pound, right?
Yeah. 16 ounces is a pound.
Yeah. So I've got 288 of them that are 1 pound each. So you could have gone that way, done the whole entire steps, or you could have converted pints to fluid ounces and then just changed that to pounds right away, which would have been 288 pounds. So it's all about kind of the rounding portion of it, where you're at, but between 288 and 300.8 pounds for that pallet. What's that? You're right. That seems way too low for.
So each one of those bottles weighs a pound.
Yep. Which is right on. Because Nick, how heavy is your water bottle? It says on the front. How many ounces?
16.9.
16.9. So each one's right about 9. Okay. All right, we'll do 2 more, and then that'll be it for this one. I'll do the very first one, and then the last one I'll have you guys do. But again, we're going to convert those centimeters to kiloliters. So not exact same one. This is the page table 9.8. It's on page 535. But if I'm converting, I'll zoom in just a smidge. 247,600. That's supposed to have an extra 0. I don't know how I accidentally deleted it. All of that cubic centimeters. I want to change that to kiloliters. Okay. So I know I can change centimeters, cubic centimeters to decimeters. And then I know I can go from decimeter to liter, deciliter to kiloliter. Again, I'm just going straight through. I'm just looking at the labels first. I'm not worried too much about what the numbers are until after I figure out how I can go through and cancel those things out. So based on that chart, centimeters to decimeter, I've got 1 decimeter, cubic decimeter is the same as 1,000 centimeters, cubic centimeters. And then I've got decimeters to 1 kiloliter. So I've got 1 kiloliter up here. This one down there is 1,000 decimeters. I get to multiply straight across 2, 4, 7, 6, 1, 2, 3, divided by 1 million. So I've got 2, 4, 7, 6, 1, 2, 3, divided by that. I'm left off with 2.476. Hopefully you guys got the same thing. I'll pretend. Yeah. Okay, this one is going to be a little bit of kind of 2 pages. I want to convert 21 gallons to liters. I'm going to give you the hint. You need to change your gallons to quarts, and there is a number for quarts to liters. I want to see if you guys can do this one. This is the last one for the day. Perfect. Yep, you're right. Close. First time was good. Second. Yeah. And I'll show you on that one. So the very last one, I'll write it up there to show you what you did. But Franny, what'd you get for your final answer? You got it. So same thing, I got 21 gallons. I got gallons to quarts. And then I've got my quarts to liters. 1.06 is down here. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. Multiply straight across and divide, I get 79.25. Okay, that's it for today. Tomorrow, I'll write it up here. If you're not going to be here tomorrow, go ahead and write it down. But otherwise, we'll have all of class time tomorrow to work on it. But it's going to be page 536, 10 through 30 by 5s. And then 69, 70, and 71. Those last 3 are going to be story problems that potentially will relate to your real life. So, all right.